All right, guys. Welcome to another episode of Success Stories M to M. My name is Quentin B. Smith, and today we have a special guest. This gentleman I've worked with hand in hand for the last month, and today we wanted to introduce Sergio Espinosa, who is new to the forex game, new to stock trading. And this interview would be really good if you are getting into stocks or been thinking about investing. So everybody, welcome Sergio Espinosa. How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for hopping on. So today, like I was saying, I just want to talk about your adventure into stock trading, kind of your background, what you knew about it before, and how that's changed in the last month. How long have we been working together now?
Ooh, uh, almost 3 months.
That's crazy.
About 3 months now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a decent amount of time, and I think this is the perfect time to do the video because I didn't want to wait until you were like super deep in the game. Like you've made 12 million, and we're like, yeah. So how does it feel, in the beginning? So let's do it now, man. Like three
hmm
3 months in, let's just start off with your background. What were you taught about money growing up?
We grew up. I'd say we grew up just making it.
Mm-hmm.
My parents could stashed away anything they could, really, just in the savings. And I mean, that's how I was raised. Is we never really took any vacations, so it's like, once I got to high school and I saw that people were going to, Disneyland, stuff like that, it was strange to me because I only took maybe maybe 3 or 4 like vacations when I was like while I was growing up.
Wow, yeah.
So, so that's what I'm saying. Is like I grew up with not too much. Like we weren't making it, but at the same time, it's like we had food on the table. So it was like that's all I really ever needed. So now, the opportunity to actually make some money, something that never seemed achievable,
Yeah.
is it's pretty crazy to me, and that's why, like, I want to do something that I shouldn't be able to do,
Yeah.
like at least growing up, that's what that's what I thought,
Where'd you grow up at?
that I grew up here in Ogden, Utah. There was I said there's the rich and there's the poor, and there's like no real in between. And it's like, here's the ghetto, and then right by the mountains, it's Shadow Valley. It's those, all the doctors and lawyers, all the big shots. So like that was always what I always saw, and like I never really cared to go to the rich side. Like I saw that we made it, and I was fine with having an extra couple bucks, driving a little nice car, and working the 9 to 5. I never saw a problem with that, and it's crazy. Now I have the opportunity to actually, you know, make it big.
And how old are you now?
I just turned 22.
Man, you're pretty young, man, and you're rolling.
Oh yeah,
Do you think, when do you think is the best time to start investing?
anytime. Honestly, anytime. The earlier you are, I think the more time that you have to learn, study, just dedicate what you can. Because, I mean, why not? If you can change your life now, then why wait?
Yeah, this is pretty cool because it sounds like you're super inspired, and this happened recently. Compare your mindset just 3 months ago to now.
Man, I remember when we first started talking, it was like you changed my life when you just told me it's like right now I'm doing it because I have no bills and everything I make investing goes straight back to reinvesting. So I don't know what clicked when you said that, but my mindset, like you said, was like you shattered my old thinking, and yeah, you just changed my mindset, man. Now I'm thinking about investing to reinvesting to like making like making my debt go away in 4 months instead of, a year, paying my car off in maybe a year instead of, the 6 years, 7 years that I planned on. It's just, you changed the way I think, and I'm eternally grateful for that. So even like if this investing doesn't go right, it's like I still have the mindset that I will always have. So I never have to really worry about avenues that I can go through. And, I think just changing your mindset is the first step in actually in succeeding,
For sure, man. And it's just super cool because what you don't know, right? And
yeah.
Hey man, I told you the other day that I learned something from you. I think today I was like, hey man, I learned something from you. Like you can learn from everyone, and it's just crazy what you don't know sometimes. And I was super happy to work with you. And just going back, we did, for people that don't know, we did a 5-day in-person stock trading course together, and you had never seen a chart before, right?
Yeah.
You knew stocks existed, but didn't really know how they worked.
Oh, absolutely not.
And then by what, day 3, you knew everything on the screen?
Yeah, like, I don't know, you simplified it to the point that the way I learn, I don't know if it's just the way you teach and the way I learn just, fit perfectly, but like you simplified it to the point that I understood, and I just had to watch a couple different examples, and like it was clicking. Everything was clicking. So, like I picked up on it pretty quick, and I'm glad that I did. It's a lot of fun to learn, and there's so much to learn. And I'm eager. I love learning. I love going to YouTube. I love going just on the websites. Seeing all these people. Like there's information everywhere.
So for someone who's on the fence about investing, what would you say to them that kind of spark that investor bug?
Find a mentor. Whether that's Grant Cardone on Instagram or YouTube. Find someone that's in the game, real estate, stocks, land. Just literally, there's investing for anything. Cars. Like I'm a car guy. I love cars. Find somebody, shoot them a DM, and you never know. They could respond. And there's bigger miracles that have happened, but really find a mentor, whether it's just on the screen and you watching their videos. Ty Lopez, just random entrepreneurs. Just if you're serious about trying to change your life, you have to change your mindset. And by changing your mindset, you have to find a mentor, and it could be Gandhi.
Yeah.
Like just read the books. Read books, watch videos. Just look at articles. There's you have the internet, and you're in the 21st century. This information is at the palm of your hands.
It is. It really is. And so let's talk about that, man. Like how easy it is to invest in something, especially when you could do it on your iPhone. Like you just mentioned, you can invest in anything, right? We talked about Levi Erickson on the last one, who wants to invest in elk. He wants an elk farm. Like you can invest in anything, dude. What drew you towards stocks, and more specifically forex? What'd you like about that?
So stocks, you've always heard of stocks as like the rich get richer, the Wolf of Wall Street. Those people that just make all of the money in the world. Like you're like, man, if only I had a 100th of what they have, I'd be set for life.
Yeah.
And you used to think that, but after you get into our mindset, it's like, why do you stop there?
Mm-hmm.
Like, manage your risk and rewards and keep going. And I've learned that. It's like, I've learned why they make more money and just keep getting more money. And it's because it's like, why not? You can, it's just a mindset. It really is. And I think that's what I'm going to keep bringing that up, is because that truly is like step one into changing your life. It really is. And forex, man, I think you and me have been talking about this, and we just keep saying it over and over, and it's just the amount of return that you get from forex is uncanny to anything else, and nothing can give you back what you put in like forex. And it's a dangerous game, but I mean, if you manage your risk and stop losses and just, you can't, like, even if you lose, like, you're going to win. And when you win, it's going to be absolutely ridiculous, something that you never thought possible. And I've learned that, like, 2 weeks, $15,000 starting from 3, it's just like you shouldn't be able to make that type of money. Like, no way. Like, no way you should be able to make that type of money, And you see it, and then you see it time and time again. You start a different account, and you do it again, and it's absolutely ridiculous. And after you see results, it kind of it's an addiction, kind of like in the weight room. You start seeing your fat go down. You start seeing, your muscles get a little bigger, and then you're like, oh, I can't stop now. It's the same thing. It's the exact same thing.
It's just like that. So it sounds like one thing you really need to be mindful of when you start trading stocks or forex is your mindset. How do you take losses now? How do you think about losses, like when you lose?
Well, I mean, like I just said, is you're gonna lose some money. And, you can lose it all, but if you have the right mindset, it's like you understand that that's how it goes. You learn something. You take your L and you learn something from it. If you don't learn anything, then you're probably just going to give up, It's just simple. You have to understand that you're going to lose. You're going to lose some. You might lose some big, and you got to learn something. You got to pick something up from that. And when you win, you got to understand it's like, hey, man, like, I deserve this because I put in the effort. I put in the timing. I put in all this research, and it paid off. And it's been like that, man. So
what's the biggest?
You just have,
what's the biggest mistake people make when they start doing forex?
I think that they go in and they don't have a strategy. They don't have. I think they're just playing around with it, and maybe they don't demo. Like, if they don't demo, then it's going to be a bad time. You might get lucky first 5, 6, 200 trades, but if you don't know what you're doing, like, yeah, it's going to come back. It's going to bite you in the ass, and you're going to wish that you never started this journey. But it's just, yeah.
How do you find a strategy?
It's a good question. Strategies, there's a lot of different types of strategies. Everyone can have their own strategy. And you can Google it. You can just Google forex strategies. You can Google stock strategies. And just see what's out there. Formations, double tops, double bottoms, morning star, evening star, stuff like that. Like, those are like the big ones that people like to use. But it could be formations. It could be RSI with, MACD. You can use
anything.
So many different type of, yeah. You can pick out your own indicators. You can, like, just study up on whatever indicator you're using. It's just, there's so many. Everyone can have their own. You can take away some from others. You can completely make your own, and test it out, demo it, and see how it works, you know?
Would you recommend using someone else's strategy before you try to find your own?
I don't see any harm in that, just because they have their own strategy, so it works for them. And who knows, you might think the same as them, and like it could work for you. And yeah, you can use anybody else's strategy, and then kind of like form your own from it. If it's the exact same, then I mean, like you hit the jackpot, you know?
Yeah, you could win big. So before we talk about what you can make, let's talk about a real expectation that someone should have in the first 3 months of forex.
Well, I think the biggest thing is probably how much you invest. Because if you invest $100, if you make $20 a day, like, hey man, like
that's 20%.
That's 20% of the day, and like you and me are talking about it. It's like, yeah, man, we can do that anytime. But it's like people that don't know this. It's like 20% is
that's huge.
godly. Like no one should be able to do that. That's how, you know, society is. That's how, like you've been saying, that's how we're programmed. You know, you're
You're programmed to think that like you can't make more than 1% because bank accounts don't do that.
And even if you put it into an investment weekend, they're like, hey, you can get 16% a year, and it's like you're like 16% in a year. That's insane. And I mean, that's good. It's really good. Like but you can't touch the money until, you know, however long you set it to. So it's like it's good, but at the same time, it's like what we can do, like, is absolutely ridiculous.
How much?
So that's if you start off with $100. But if you start off with 500, 1,000, if you start off with 10,000, like I don't know what you're doing, but let me in on it. And $10,000, like I said, you can make $2,000. That's 20%. It's a very achievable thing. You can double it in a day. You can lose, you know, 600, and then you'd be like, oh my God, like what's going on? But it's like that's part of the game. There's risk and reward. You got to put your stop loss and minimize and maximize or minimize the risk. Yeah.
So here's the big question that we always get: how much can you make in forex?
I don't think there's a ceiling, man. I don't think there's a ceiling. I think that if every trade goes your way and you trade at the absolute most that you can trade with the leverage and everything that's going down, you can grow your account 10 times in a day. You can do it. And if you keep going and, you know, everything's just going your way, like you can make so much money, like an absolute ridiculous, more than you could ever think. Like you can.
What's the most money you've seen someone make in forex?
Huh?
What's the most money you've seen someone make?
I mean, I don't know how long they held it, but I saw $365,000 on a single trade.
That's crazy.
I don't know how long they could have held it. They could have held it for a month. They could have held it for 2 weeks. They could have held it. They could have been like an Amazon boom where it just went straight up out of nowhere and they put 50 lots on there.
Even if you held it for 2 years, like that's $375. Like that's good, man. That's almost $200,000 a year. Yeah, it's crazy, man. So, guys, I know that's the biggest question we get is how much can you make in forex? The other question we get all the time is how much should you start with? And be honest, like we're honest on this show. $1's not going to work.
Yeah. So for anybody else, invest what you can. If you want to save up and, you know, put in 500, if you want to save up and put 100, like whatever disposable money that you have, you know, instead of getting, you know, those new shoes that you don't need, instead of, buying those clothes that you don't really need, you can take that money, put it in the little account, and then invest it. If you're serious about investing, that's what you're gonna do. Like me, I'm living normal, but it's just like I don't go to the mall because I'm bored. You gotta have some discipline in the money that you're gonna invest.
For sure.
So it's like
what's a real expectation of someone that just starts? I think I asked you that, but like, say first weekend, what's going to happen to you in the first week?
In the first week, well, I hope that you're demoing in the first week, and I want you guys to play around. Like, you should play around big time. Just look up on YouTube, it's like strategies, and then try to copy them and see if you can find a formation or something like that. And if you're doing what everyone is telling you, then you should be making money. If not, it's like you're trying to see things that aren't there in the stock market. You're not taking what the stock market gives you, and that's one thing that I need to keep reminding myself. It's like, I see some profit and I need to cut it there instead of trying to wait for more, stuff like that. I'm learning every day. God, I'm learning every day.
What's the biggest thing this is 3 months in, what's the biggest thing you've learned?
You gotta adjust you have to realize that some days won't go your way. If you're doing everything right, some days still won't go your way. You're going to lose some money. And depending on what you're doing, you could lose a lot of money just because, you're putting a lot of money in, and you're investing a lot of money into this one deal. And if it goes south, because it does that, the market does what it wants. We can try and predict it. We can try and do the best that we can, but
it's going to do what it wants.
If it's not big,
you're sitting there, you're yelling at your computer screen, but it doesn't care. Like,
no. Yeah. You just have to realize that some days you're really going to lose, and there's nothing you can do about it. Those trades that you got in, they just weren't. The market wasn't right. All right.
Yeah. The market wasn't right.
But yeah, man. Like, I realized that it's like, I made profits straight for God knows how long. It's like I think it was like 2 weeks, and everything was going my way, and I was on cloud nine. I had to realize, I had to come back down. I had to realize it's like, hey, I got lucky. Dude. There were 2 days that I probably should have lost, but it's like I ended up making money. So you got to realize you're gonna lose some days.
And then sometimes you're just gonna get lucky. Sometimes you're just gonna get lucky, right?
Yeah, like I invested in Amazon. I fell asleep. The next day, I could have blown my account, but I ended up, doing my research, and it was like it was a good trade, but it didn't go south. Like, yeah. I woke up to $9,000. So it's like, stuff like that. It's like you get lucky. You definitely get lucky. There's a couple of them where I got lucky to an extent because I did some research, and I invested the right way, and it did what it was said it was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you have other ones where you invest, and it's like, hey, man, it has to go up at some point, right? It has to go up at some point. And the market's like, man, go fuck yourself. And then you're like, all right, you can't do anything about it. So
there's nothing you can do, man. You just got to hang on for dear life, man. So, hey, man, how long do you think it would take for you to learn forex if you just went on your own?
I think it depends on the person, but the average person, from what I've seen, it could take put like a year to actually really understand everything about it. So the things that you've taught me in 2 months from forex standpoint, like you had so much information. I mean, you're still learning a lot, but you had a lot of information where, like, I couldn't imagine other people, finding things out on their own. Like that's insane. Like, depending on if you know where to look, like Reddit or something, I don't know. They could probably steer you in the right direction, but I mean, for you to understand I should probably take 8 months, 9 months, 10 months.
For real.
Just to understand forex and the little things about it. And it's just, yeah, there's a lot to learn, and if you don't know where to look, then it could take a while.
And when you're on your own, you don't have any support either.
No, like I said, the only support's probably going to be Gandhi and Ty Lopez, the books and all that stuff. And I mean, if you're motivated to go through that without anybody else, like, man, get on you. Like, you deserve it. But you're probably going to quit, and it's because you don't have a lifeline. You don't have other people to, keep you going. And you lost. You made $2,000 one day, and then you lost like $5.
And you don't know why.
Like, what the fuck? Like, this is bullshit, right?
For sure. So do you think it's important to have a support group and mentors?
Yes, 100%. I think that I don't think you should go into the stock market without knowing too much and without a mentor or somebody that has done it before,
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Do you feel like you eventually know everything about forex or stocks?
No. Nope.
It's just no.
You will never know everything about the market.
Yes.
And if you do, then you're wrong.
You're wrong.
You're just wrong. You're wrong. Because the most experienced, like those people, they still learn from all of their mistakes. Like they go back and they revisit, and then they learn something else from their mistakes. Like they go to other people. Like that's why, those fancy yacht parties that you see.
Yeah.
Like it's the billionaires that go in and they're like, hey, like they start brainstorming, and it's a think tank over there for investing. So it's just, you will never know everything, and if you think that you can, like I don't know what to tell you. Just always learn, always stay hungry,
Stay hungry, man. So we worked in person. For anyone who's considering getting the course, what would you say to them?
Yes, just yes,
man.
Like Smith, you're amazing. Like the way you teach is the way that I learn.
Thank you, man.
So the content you have, the content that you produce, the content that you've shown me is remarkable, and like I can only imagine like what I could have done with this information, 3-4 years ago. Like as soon as I turned 18, would I have joined the military? I don't know. Like there's a lot. There's a lot of things that are just so simplified that it's so easy to learn. We're talking to other people, like they can't explain things the way that you do, the way that is on the courses. Like it's simple, it's easy, and you get the most of it. And it is some damn good content.
Thank you, man.
I'll let you know.
Thank you for sure. I can't really speak about most times how many things we alleviate when we show people how to trade stocks. But you and I, we went through like a period where we ran into a little roadblock. So let's talk about some things people don't know about stocks when they're getting into it. Like, and let's get specific, like the day trading, right?
Oh man,
dude.
I remember when you told me that, and I already used 2 of the trades for the week. I was like, what?
So tell people what the day trading rule is.
So regular stock market, you go in and you're like, I can make money off this. Like, I've seen it in the videos and everything. And, you buy a stock and then you trade it 30 minutes later and you're like, all right, I made 40 cents. I got to realize, like, that's what I'm going to make it at first. And then you get another trade and, you trade it in an hour, you get $3 and you're like, hey, that was a really good trade. And then the next day you go in and get another one. And, this one's 4 hours and you make $6. So you use your 3 day trades. Do they tell you? It's like some do, some don't. And on the 4th one, all of a sudden your account's blocked and you're like, I can't access it. Like, what's going on? And like right before you told me is when I put my second trade down. I was like what the fuck's going on? And you're like, yeah, if you're trading this under 25,000, you only have 3 day trades in a week. And I'm just like, how are you supposed to make money with that? And you're like, you got to swing trade. And it's like you can make more money that way, but man, the risk is a lot higher. It's a lot higher. So the stock goes down. It's like you lost $4 before the day even started,
And yeah, we're just talking, this video is for regular people. So what is a swing trade?
A swing trade is where you hold a stock overnight through it's just through the night. When the day trading hours aren't open, you have to hold that stock through that. And if the company does good overnight, then you'll make some money from the trade right off the get-go. But if they do bad, like you can lose a good amount of money. So there's a lot of risk with the swing trading.
So a swing trade is like when you hold it for 2 or 3 days. And then what's a day trade?
And day trade is within the market hours. You buy it within the market hours and you sell it within the market hours that day. That's a day trade.
And then, so like most people, they hop into stocks. We talked about this earlier today, man. Like the 3 big apps. You got Robinhood, Stash, and Acorn. They hop in there and they see that message that says, yo, you're out of trades for the week. And at that point, that's where most people turn around and they go home. They're like, I'm never going to get into this. And we teach how you can do it without having $25,000 in your account. It's super cool. And it's from your iPhone, just crazy, or your Android. It's from your phone, period. So it's super crazy. For someone who has a job right now and they're like, I don't think I'll have time to trade. Is that true?
No. The thing is, at least in forex, you're trading foreign currencies, so that means that you can trade during their market hours.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can trade at 6 at night. You can trade the euro to, the yen, because the yen, it's still going. Like, the yen is going, and the euro may have closed, but it's like one of them is moving. So one of the stocks is moving. When all the markets are open, everything is just going absolutely haywire. But
so it's 24 hours, pretty much.
Yeah, but forex you can trade at night. The bulk of our trading is, at least for me, is from 6 o'clock at night to 3, 4 in the morning, just because, like, I open a trade that I expect to go a certain way, and I go to sleep to go to work because I work graveyard. So for me, it's convenient to do it between that time. And yeah, you can trade at any time. Like, if you have 5 minutes, you can trade if you have, 2 hours, you can definitely trade. It's just like you have to set time apart because it's what you want to do. You're devoting time, you're devoting patience, you're devoting everything into it. And those people that are hectic or hesitant because they don't think they have time, it's because they're not really into it. That they don't want to invest their time into it. They're saying that they don't want to put the time in. And you can put the time in anytime you want as long as you have the drive to do it.
How do you do you make more money trading or waiting? Like most people have the expectation that they have to like look at their phone all the time. Is that true?
No. Like you can definitely hold and things for it. It's like for me, it's a hard thing just because when I first started trading, I was always on the phone and I was always watching it. And I've come to realize it's like the big dogs, those big people, like they hold trades for 2 weeks, and I can't do that because my account isn't large enough to do it. Hold the fluctuation and everything, but you can hold it for a couple days, and then you're like I made some damn good money. And it's like you just have to realize it's like some trades, like depending on the type of trading, if you're scalping and you're looking to scalp, then yeah, you would have to watch your phone constantly, get the maximum little profit that you see, and take it out right there. Don't get too greedy because you're scalping, so it's going to go the other way and it's going to go fast.
Heck yeah. Hey man, so I don't want to keep you too long, but I want to ask you a couple more questions. One of them is from day one. How far in did you feel like you knew what you were doing? Was it like 2 weeks or a month? Where you kind of were like, I actually think I know like what the heck's going on.
So for me, I mean, with you, like you made everything so simple. Like I thought I knew I could trade within like 3 days because, you taught me the big things and I could have traded. I would have had to learn a lot of things on the way, but I could have traded within 3 days and kind of been 50-50. Like there were a lot of trades that I would be able to make, and the other trades, like that's where I would have to learn a lot of things. But I could stay afloat. I think about 3 days is after you taught me with the market and how to look. At least in Robinhood is where we started. So I couldn't short anything, which is. Now looking back, I'm just like, what the hell are we doing?
So, what the heck is shorting, man? What is that?
So shorting, it's like something so simple that doubles your opportunities to trade. And shorting is where a stock, has been probably going high for a while, and it's time for it to come down. Because the market, that's what the market does. It just goes up and down, up and down. Whenever it goes down, if it keeps going down, it's going to come up at some point.
Mm-hmm.
So when it's at an all-time high, like it's like know that it can't sustain that forever, and you get a short. The shorting is that you're betting that the stock goes down, and which is something so simple, right? Something simple. But
so what happens when you bet that it's going to go down and it goes down? What happens?
You make money. Just the same amount as that you're buying a stock for it to rise. It's the same money going down.
It's just inverse.
So it's the exact same. Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. People don't know about that. And that's one thing that we teach. That's half your money right there. Like, if you're making good money now or you understand that buying something and expecting it to go up will make you money, we teach you that if you think it's going to go down and you're right, you'll make money as well. And like, that doubles your income, just that one piece of information alone. So it sounds.
And I didn't know that you could do that.
Man, people don't know. And so that's why we do what we do. I mean, I think you may have realized it, but like day 3, I did notice that you knew what you were doing. Then we took a couple more weeks to get into the details to make sure you were good. Make sure you were good. And now we're going on 3 months where you're actually tweaking the strategy that you picked up from me, and I told you, hey man, I'm still learning. I want you to still learn. Like if you come up with something, let me know. and now we can bounce ideas off of each other. How open are you to helping others now?
Oh, it's anyone who asks, like, I'd love to help, just because, I mean, if this changed my life, changed my way of thinking, and it's like, this is going to help me in the long run, just my mindset that I have now. So if I can teach one person, change their life, like that's what I would do. It's just change one person's life. If I can change more, then, you know, the better. But if I can change that one person's life, then I'm set. I can die happy, you know.
So guys, he's one of you guys. Just started 3 months ago. I recommend, if you're interested in forex, connect with Espinosa, connect with Sergio. He can help you figure out if it's the right industry you want to be in. And how can people reach you?
Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Like, I'm on most social media. I'm not on Twitter very much, so, you know, sadly.
What's your Instagram? I know that's the most popular one right now.
Yeah, Instagram is Sergi Baca. Like, yeah.
And we'll put the links in the description below. You can just click on them. That'd be way easier. But definitely follow Sergio.
Yeah.
If you're just interested and just have a couple questions, shoot him a message, right?
Mhm.
And,
as soon as I see it, I usually reply. Like, I'm not one of those that, you know, takes their time replying.
And you're more than willing to teach people. Because I know I'm getting expensive, dude.
Yeah.
They might have to come see you.
Yeah.
Good deal. So, hey, man, congrats on your success so far and being able to push yourself to levels you didn't even know you could reach, man. In such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
I mean, 3 months is crazy. And, I mean, so, guys, take a chance. You don't have to start investing, but if you have any questions, definitely hit up Sergio. And if you are ready, we'll leave a link in the description below where you can get the free course and go ahead and get started. And man, just thank you for hopping on. I know this was a little longer than we expected, but it's all good. People got some good info. For sure. All right, man. Hey, I'm going to catch you on the charts. I'll see you later, buddy.
Oh, yeah. All right, I'll see you. Thank you.
Peace.